Poultry farming in Kenya plays an important role in the total economy and fulfilling the nutrition demand in Kenya. According to a report released by Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, the agriculture sector of Kenya's economy contributes 25 to 26% of GDP, with poultry playing a major role, representing 30% of the agricultural contribution to GDP. Most rural families in Kenya, an estimated 75%, keep chicken. Indigenous chicken contributes 71% of the total eggs and poultry meat produced in Kenya, and therefore impacts significantly on the trade, welfare, and food security of small-scale farmers. Commercial poultry is concentrated usually in the urban centers of Nairobi, Mombasa, Nakuru, Kisumu, and Nyeri, where ready market is available. This has led to growth of hatcheries located in the area surrounding major urban centers, which sell hybrid broilers and layer chicks to commercial farmers. With the indigenous birds having high returns yielded by low inputs, the farmers can keep production at subsistence level. However, the introduction of hybrid egg layers in early 2002 in Asal districts of Kitui, Kwale and Taita Taveta, and the recent encouragement of poultry farmers in Makueni district to farm poultry as a business enterprise has introduced a commercial angle to the keeping of indigenous chicken. Poultry farming forms a very important aspect in today's agricultural sector, and that's why in this episode we concentrate on telling you what you can do to make your poultry business profitable by giving you the right knowledge to do the right thing in order to come up with the right results. Let's find out what goes on here at Renray Solutions, a poultry farm based in Juja. Renray Poultry Solutions is a mid-sized company in Kenya that specializes in import and distribution of automated farming equipment, including battery cages for poultry solutions. Meet John Moirore, the proprietor behind the poultry business.
Tukiendelea na kufuga kuku na kuuza cages, pia tunafuga kuku kwa wakulima wale ambao hawafikii ama malengo yao ni kufuga kuku bila kuanzia ile kianzo ya chini. Tunawafugia kuku, tunawapatia kiwa na mwezi 4.5. Hivyo kazi yake ni kuenda tunakuanza kuokota mayai. Kwa kusema kweli, huu ni mwaka wa 3 nikiwa katika hii biashara. Mwanzo kama ni vile nimesema, ufugaji wa kuku nilianza tikiwa mkulima tu mdogo kwa kufuga kuku kwa ile style ya kienyeji. Na ndio ifika mahali katika runinga nikaona kuna ufugaji wa kuku kwa hiyo style ya kisasa ya cages. Nami pia nikaingilia hiyo ikiwa ndio njia iliyo na faida sana. Maana katika ufugaji wa kuku kwa style hii ya cages, ya kwanza kuna faida kwa upatiaji wa chakula, maana kwa chakula haina hasara. Maana kwa ile style ya beleni ni kuku zinakula chakula zikimwaga, lakini kwa style hii kuku inakula ile chakula, inakula hiyo nyingine na acha hapo. Kwa upande wa maji pia, maji na kunywa hiyo nyingine na acha hapo. Hivyo nimeonelea ukulima wa cages ina faida sana kuliko ile ukulima wa beleni. Maana kama ni chakula haina hasara, kama ni maji haina hasara. Kuku zako zikiwa pale ndani ya cages, kila siku utaiona na unaweza kuhesabu. Na kama ni kutega mayai, inatega vizuri nikilinganisha na ile ukulima ya beleni. Hivyo kuna faida kwa ukulima wa cages. Challenges hazikosagi kweli, lakini challenges za ukulima wa cages sio mingi kama ile ukulima wa ile style ile tulikuwa tumezoea beleni. Maana kama ni magonjwa, ile ukulima wa beleni magonjwa huwa sana inakuwa mingi kuliko ukulima huu wa cages. Maana kama ni ile maji, hakuna nafasi ukulima wa cages kuwa contaminated. maji inaingia pale na pipe, inaingia kwa mahali nimefunikiwa, hivyo inapitia kwa pipe, hivyo contamination haiko. Lakini challenges ya cages ndio nasema sio sana, isipokuwa watu saa zingine wanaona gharama ya kuinunua. Maana hiyo ndio sasa challenge moja, maana mpaka uwe na fedha ya kutosha kununua cage. Maana ni pesa tu kiasi, lakini ukiafford, ukishanunua hiyo ni kitu ambaye ni long lasting. Basi utaona kama umefunyika hapo mwanzo, lakini ukishainua kiweka ni kitu inaendelea. Saa zingine challenge inakuwa ni mayai, maana saa zingine mayai inakuwa ni mingi sana, wakulima wanakuwa wengi, lakini naye pia hata kama bei, maana wakati mayai imekuwa mengi bei inateremka, na wakati bei imeteremka naye sasa faida pale inakuwa ni chache. Sisi kama Renray, kama nimesema, tuko na hiyo section mbili, tuna kuku za mayai, tunakuuza cages, na tuna hiyo sasa kulea vifaranga kwa wakulima. Nasema ni biashara ambaye ina faida, lakini pia faida yake ina depend na bidii na kutii maagizo. Maana kama hizo ni vifaranga, wakati mwingine ukikosa kutii ama kufuatilia vile nataka kufugwa, vile nataka kuwekwa na kutunzwa, saa zingine huwa ina challenge sana sana, maana kidogo tu unaweza pata hasara kubwa ukikosa kufanya vile natakikana uifanyie na daktari. Hata hizo kuku kubwa pia ina challenges, maana hata naye pia ukikosa kuiweka vizuri, kuifuga vizuri, kuilisha vizuri, ikikosa maji pia utaona production sio nzuri.
From the information gathered at Renray Solutions, it's evident that poultry farming is a big business if handled the right manner. Perhaps the most critical thing for a farmer to consider before engaging in poultry farming is establishing the battery cages. The battery cage system is far much better for the following reasons. Egg production is much higher as chicken conserve their energy for production. There is reduced infections as the chicken has no direct contact with the ground. Reduced loss from egg breakages, less labor intensive due to the automated water system and simplified feeding system. There is reduced wastage, reduced pilferage as the farmer can easily count the chicken at any time, and there is also pure manure. James Mwangi has been the person entrusted with the responsibility of monitoring Renray Poultry for at least the last 3 years. So what are the common mistakes that poultry farmers make? Mwangi shares his experience.
Niangalie ugonjwa. Lazima nihakikishe kuku amepata chochote anahitaji. Lazima nihakikishe kuna maji, kuna chakula. Na niangalie kama kuku ni mgonjwa. Lazima kuna kuwa na sign za kuku. Unaweza kuta kuku ni mgonjwa. Sasa ni ya kwanza, unaweza kuta ameangusha mabawa na amelala pahali. Unaweza kuta mwingine anatoa makamasi kwa mapua. Get. Sasa unakuta huyo kuku, sema kama ni wa mayai, huyo kuku atagi na unamprotect atagi, unamhitaji atagi na hatagi. Sasa unajua huyo kuku ako na problem moja, lazima uangalie problem yake ni nini. Huyo kuku lazima kwanza uangalie nini kinafanya asitagi. Kwanza umpe vitamin kwanza. Asipotaka kwa vitamin, unaweza ita daktari uangalie huyo kuku ako na shida gani. Haya, tuingie sasa, tuseme huyu kuku, tuseme kama hawa ako kwa cages. Sasa tuseme huyo kuku, sasa unaona wamewekwa aina, useme kuku hawa hawatagi, na unataka kujua kuku gani hawatagi. Sasa tuseme kuku si ni 256. Unataka kuchagua kuku wenye hawatagi na wenye wanataga. Sasa tunakuonyesha venye unaweza monta hizi kuku, uweke zenye ujue zenye zinataga na zenye hazitagi. Kuku hana mambo mingi ati ya kukustua, ati usifuge kuku. Hapana. Kuku ukimpea chakula na umpee maji, na uhakikishe hiyo maji akose maji. Afadhali kuku akose chakula lakini asikose maji. Hiyo ni kitu muhimu sana kwa kuku. Unajua huyu kuku anakula unga. Hii kitu ni kitu imekauka kabisa. Si kama wakienyeji ati anaenda kutafuta chakula na huko, anaokota tumawe, anakula nyasi. Huyu anakula unga peke yake. Kwa hivyo afadhali akose huu unga, anywe maji. Juu akikula hii chakula itamnyonga, na venye unajua saa kuku hana akili kama binadamu. Ananyongwa, hajui kama ananyongwa, anaendelea tu na kukula. Akiendelea na kukula kuna pale atafika azindiwe na hiyo chakula, hata ashindwe na kupumua. Saa huyo kuku umempoteza.
Thank you very much for watching Breeding Cash. Now we come to the experts corner, or rather the expert's voice, where we interview someone who is on the ground to tell us exactly how does it feel doing a certain kind of business. Now this episode we are talking about poultry, and I'm joined by Claire Njuguna, who is a farmer here at Juja, Kenyatta Road, doing poultry farming at Renray Solutions. Thank you very much, Claire, for inviting us here. Maybe you can start by telling us, I see you have a lot of birds here. How many pieces do you have, and how have you managed them so far so good?
Currently we have the ones that are laying, we have about 512. The ones that are in the brooder, the ones that are 2 months, we have about 2,000. We have another 4 weeks that are about 1,500.
And of course, with numbers comes challenges. Maybe let's start from the challenges this time around. What are some of the challenges that you've encountered in this kind of farming?
Some of the challenges we've encountered are when the birds are young, when they're still brooding in the brooder. So you get issues where birds just die. One of the big challenges that we had was birds that came from the hatchery had a problem. So although we are in discussion with the hatcheries, so we lost about 400 birds. But that was a problem from the hatchery. So those are some of the challenges that we encounter. And if you're a young farmer, definitely you'll get out of the business. But if you've been farming and you know how to deal with the hatcheries, you know that you can still go back to them and tell them the challenges and they refund.
I see now we have the birds, we have the cages and all that. And of course we have the eggs here. So where do you measure? Is it with the birds, is it with the layers, that is the eggs themselves, or is it with the structures, the cages?
We have 3 different business lines here. So number 1, we are farmers, so we still sell eggs. We farm chicken, we sell eggs. 2, we also sell the battery cages. And then we also rear day-old birds for farmers on contract. And then we sell them at 4.5 months at maturity.
Tell us more about this contract farming.
So for the contract farming, what we do, we have farmers who don't want to rear the day-old birds because they are delicate and the challenges that come with them. So what we do is that we enter into a contract with you. You tell us how many birds you want to rear, if it's 1,500, if it's 2,000, if it's 3,000. And then we sign a contract, we bring the birds, we rear them to the highest standards, and then we deliver to you when they are mature.
Now, of course, maybe you might be having some challenges also, and maybe some bad cases. So how exactly do you go about it? If I bring my birds here and then maybe after 2 months they are all gone, will you refund the money, or how exactly do you go about it?
What we do is that we order the birds ourselves from the hatcheries. So we bring them from day old. The only thing that the farmer does is that you pay 30% worth of the value of the birds. And then we rear them. Then at the point of delivery, you will just pay the balance, which is about 20%. So we structure the payments. So meaning that we are rearing those birds at the highest level. Then when they are just about to start laying at 5 months, between 4.5 and 5 months, we deliver. Then you pay 20%, which is the balance on the actual delivery. So you are guaranteed that if you ordered 1,500, you expect to receive 1,500. And if you still, we are farmers. If somebody says that they've changed their mind, we'll still retain the birds and keep them because we are farmers.
Oh,
yeah.
Now the kind of farming that I'm seeing here is different from what many people are used to.
Yeah.
These cages, this is a new trend, or so to speak. So maybe you can tell us more about these cages. How much do they cost? How effective are they?
I would start by saying that if you want to be exceptional, you have to stop the conventional, for you to be exceptional, you need to do away with the conventional. The conventional modes of farming have got a lot of challenges because, I mean, farmers, number one, farmers don't know that they're supposed to, how much they're supposed to feed per bird. They don't know that, I mean, you're supposed to keep washing the drinkers with the disinfectants. So all your margins are either lost on drugs, or they are lost on disinfectants, or they are lost on labor. But now, with this type of cage farming, you find that you are able to retain your margins. So you'd say that many people would say that poultry farming is not profitable. But I normally say it's profitable. It's not profitable because you are doing it the wrong way. But if you rear using cages, you're able to maintain your profits margin, and then you're able to make something out of poultry farming because you don't lose eggs because the birds don't eat the eggs. You're using a very small space. Like for example, this is 256 birds on a 14 by 7 feet area. And then the other thing is that you cannot lose birds out of theft. The other benefit is that you know that one bird will consume 120 grams. So when it's down, it's eating 180 grams. When it's in the cage, it's 120 grams. So the difference is your profit margin. So you can see that the cage farming has got a lot of benefits for the farmers.
Yeah, I must agree. Now let's go to the, birds are very sensitive. I must agree. And now apart from having them on the cages, maybe you can tell us how exactly can a farmer, do to make sure, the birds are not infected each and every time? Because I've seen farmers who have done, this poultry farming, but when it comes to infection, it's a nightmare.
Number one, what they need to do is to make sure that the farm is very clean. Birds are very delicate. They are susceptible to diseases. So you need to ensure that your farm is very clean. You also need to ensure that not everybody is just coming inside and outside your farm, because they will come from another farm and come with diseases to your farm. And then you can end up losing a whole stock. Then the other thing that they need to make sure they don't compromise on vaccinations. Vaccinations for birds are very expensive. So you find somebody is not vaccinating the way it's supposed to be. Then your birds, if a disease like Newcastle comes, they will be wiped off. Then the other thing is that they also need to ensure that the feeds they are giving their birds, there's consistency. That you're not all the time moving from one feed company to the other. Anytime you move from one feed company to the other, production goes down, meaning you're not making any money. But more importantly is to make sure they vaccinate, they keep the place clean. Hygiene is very critical. And then even if they're doing it in the deep litter, maybe somebody has not moved to the cage farming, then they have to ensure that the drinkers they are washed with a disinfectant, and that the people who are in the farm, they are observing the highest hygiene standards.
Okay, you talked of 3 pillars, or rather 3 lines that Renray is based on. We have the cages, we have the birds, and we have the eggs.
Yes.
Now, maybe you can tell us how are you performing in the market, because you see, and maybe you can go to the details of how much would one part with if you have to get such a cage and all that.
We have Renray Poultry Solutions has got 3 different business lines, as I mentioned. We sell battery cages. Our cages are of the highest quality. We don't compromise. So the cages come with the troughs. This trough, even if you stepped on it, it cannot break. It's very strong. And then also the frames that come with it are U-type, meaning they are very firm. Then also the wire mesh, it's of the highest quality. So our cages, we've decided that we are not going to compromise on quality, because if a farmer is going to spend 45,000 on one unit, it is a huge investment for a farmer. But it's an investment that will take you to up to 25 years. So it's not even like buying a car, because it's an asset you are buying that will take you for 25 years. So one unit holds 128 birds, and the cost of one unit is 45,000. So for 128 birds, we are talking about 8 feet by 7 feet, a very small space. Then our other line is that we rear birds and we sell eggs. So we rear eggs and we sell eggs. But also, besides selling cages to customers, we also link them with the market. So we do market linkages for customers. So if they have eggs and they don't know where to sell their eggs, we'll link them with the market, because we know where the eggs are. We know where the customers are. So we provide that market linkage. We also offer consultancy to our farmers. If you buy our cages and if you buy our chicken, if you're having any challenges, we will come and visit you. We are free. They can call us. We go to their farms and we offer free consultation. We don't charge them for that, as long as they bought the birds from us.
I know I asked about the challenges, but now that was in line with the farming itself. Now let's go to the market. How much would I have to pay to get one bird here, or one chicken rather?
A day-old bird is 100 shillings. A mature bird is 800 shillings.
And how is the market trend when it comes to selling of eggs and all that?
A tray of eggs right now is going for 290. Probably, let me do quick calculations for you. These 256 birds on a 14 by 7 by 8 feet will give you 34,000 per month.
All factors held constant.
Yes, and I've calculated at 270 shillings per tray. That is at the lowest in the market. So if you're able to sell your eggs at 290, you make more money. But remember, we are talking about ensuring that you are not medicating all the time. We are talking about you are not wasting any feeds. Yeah, we are talking about a bird is eating 120 grams. So your profit margin is good. At a space of 14 by 8 feet, getting 34,000. I believe even there's no house that can give you that much.
Yeah, and now that brings me to the other point. You've talked of profit. Now, I'll get 34,000 after getting this cage that is with 250?
256 birds.
256 birds, exactly. So how much will I be required to spend on them?
How much you'll be? The cage for 256 birds is 95,000.
95,000.
95,000. That is the initial cost.
Yes.
If you're buying the birds from us, it's 800 by 256. It will be about 204,800. Yeah. Then when you talk about recouping your investment, you'd give it 9 months to recoup that investment. And then the birds will lay for 18 months. Meaning your investment of buying the birds and buying the cage, within 9 months you have paid off. Then the balance of the other 9 months, it's pure profit.
Oh, and of course the final advice that you can give to, the wannabe poultry farmers and the people that are also practicing this kind of farming, what would you tell them now that you've been in this industry for quite some time?
I would tell them that poultry farming is enjoyable, it's profitable, it has money. It's not the traditional poultry farming that we used to know. I also tell them that people should take risks and not be afraid of taking risks. As I said, if you want to be exceptional, you need to stop the conventional way. And I also tell them to start farming technologically and make calculations of how much you're feeding, how much you're spending, so that you're also able to make good profits in poultry farming or in any other kind of farming.
Thank you very much. We've been talking to Claire Njuguna, one of the farmers here at Renray Solutions, which is based along Kenyatta Road in Juja. Now, it's my hope that you've picked something from the poultry farming that they are doing. Now, up next, we have a USA segment. In Have Your Say segment, we basically request for your feedback about what you need to know concerning poultry farming. This time we have focused on Renray Poultry Solutions, and maybe you could be having a question that you would like them to answer, or basically to advise you on what you should do to increase your productivity. This is the platform. You can always send us feedback. On Twitter is at WTVKE, and our Facebook page is WTV Kenya, and we will forward your questions to Renray Poultry Solutions. It's beyond a reasonable doubt that poultry farming is a big business if what we have learned here at Renray Solutions is anything to go by. And you have no excuse as to why you should not get started. With the cages that we've seen here, you can be in a position to just get something small here in town. And now we come to the end of our show. You can always send us feedback. On Facebook is WTV Kenya, and our Twitter handle is at WTVK. That's all for now. See you next week.